Hey, how is everybody doing? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys see by the title, we're going to be discussing Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins and what should the Minnesota Vikings do with the future of Kirk Cousins? Because is there a trade market? Is he good enough to get us to the Super Bowl? These are questions that people are still trying to figure out regarding Kirk Cousins. We've had 4 seasons with Kirk. I think we have enough of a sample size to make an argument on what they should do. I think I am very in between because I think Kirk Cousins has sort of this Donald Trump, Russell Westbrook kind of effect to him inside the media and just how we discuss him, even amongst friends, family, even just other fans of NFL teams. It's either you really love Kirk and you'll support him no matter what, or it's you really don't like Kirk and you'll find facts or information to convince you that he is not good or he is not, good enough to win a Super Bowl. So we're still trying to figure out these questions about Kirk Cousins. Thank you guys for the support on the videos recently. I love the support on the channel. Any advice, video topics, leave them down below. Thank you guys so much, but let's get into this right now. Like I said, I think there's 2 questions when discussing Kirk Cousins and the future of the Minnesota Vikings. The first one has to be, is he good enough to win a Super Bowl? At face value, that question is very challenging because I think there is about 12 quarterbacks in the NFL that can win a Super Bowl, and I can see them hoisting the Lombardi. Kirk is like right on that line of 12 because there is some part of me where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, Kirk, he's shown it. He definitely has the arm talent. He is better than half the quarterbacks in the NFL. I can say that convincingly, just from what I've seen from this past year. Fun fact about Kirk Cousins, he's going to be the first quarterback to throw for over 1,000 yards, more than 30 touchdowns, and less than 10 interceptions in back-to-back seasons and miss the playoffs in both seasons. We all know Kirk can put up the numbers. My problem with Kirk has always been when it comes to December, January, those type of football games when it's cold outside, when offensively every team's seen all your plays. There is no new play that you're going to bring out. Yes, there may be a couple new wrinkles or maybe a couple new shot plays that teams will add in, but pretty much right now teams know who you are. And that's when Kirk has struggled, especially the past few seasons. We always say Kirktober, Kirk November, because that's when Kirk really gets it going, is that middle of the season at those noon games. But when it's those 7 p.m. Sunday night football, Monday night football, we have seen Kirk seriously struggle this season, and he's put up great numbers overall. And a couple games I go to where I will think he's not good enough to lead us to a Super Bowl is the San Francisco 49ers game and the Chicago Bears game. Because the Chicago Bears, when Vikings play the Bears, I think it symbolizes playoff football because the Bears will always bring an atmosphere. They'll always bring some sort of physicality to the table defensively, and it will always be cold in Chicago, when we're playing there late January, and we have seen Kirk consistently struggle in those games. So that makes me picture in my head, if we have a big road playoff game and we're going to Lambeau, or we're going to Tampa Bay, or we're going to Arizona in the future, can he get it done in December, in January? Because I got faith in Kirk that he can get it done in October, November. But when teams have scouted you the whole year, when teams know all your plays, that's when Kirk struggles. Because, like I've always said, this is my if you know somebody who doesn't know a lot about football and they ask you, what are your opinions on Kirk Cousins? I think this is the best way you can kind of sum it up. He is a very good quarterback when the play is on script. When everything is going right, Kirk is phenomenal. But when it's off script and when it's backyard football, he struggles immensely, and that is what the playoffs are to me. So I don't know. I'm still on the question, can Kirk win a Super Bowl? I'm leaning towards more no, but I definitely think he has some sort of arm talent to get us somewhere. I think he'll definitely need a strong defense or a strong running game to get him over the edge in the playoffs. So now the second question. Let's just say we answer the first question. We all consensusly, we said no, he's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. I would say we should move off him immediately. We just rip the Band-Aid off, get rid of that first problem with Kirk Cousins, and then move on to our next problem as an organization. So is there a trade market for Kirk Cousins? And I think undoubtedly, yes. I think this whole notion that just because his cap hit is so immense that teams won't want to take a chance on him, I think there's 3 teams. I think it's New Orleans, Pittsburgh, and Denver. I think those three will be going hard after Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. But there's going to, and Deshaun Watson, obviously he's got legal issues. But then there's going to be that fourth guy. It's going to be Garoppolo. It's going to be Kirk Cousins. And I could see a team like Denver saying, we'll give you a 4th-round pick. We'll eat all of his cap. If you, assuming the Vikings go into kind of reboot, rebuild mode, I feel like we could get a 4th, a 3rd, and get his contract away from us and actually have a fresh start. Because I think that's what a lot of Vikings fans are feeling. There's a sort of sense of apathy, and apathy is when you just start losing interest in something you love. And we all love the Vikings. But I'm sorry, apathy will set in if we see this same, Kirk Cousins bootleg, Kirk Cousins, getting sacked from interior pressure. Apathy will set in no matter who the head coach is. I would try, if the Vikings had the opportunity to move off Kirk Cousins' contract, you do it immediately. If Sean Payton down in New Orleans calls and say, hey, I have a 5th-round pick, I'll take his entire contract. You guys can have your fresh start. I hang up the phone and I pack Kirk's bags to New Orleans, and we start over. We go find a new quarterback, whether that's Kellen Mond or whether that's finding somebody in the draft. Or maybe you go make a push at Russell Wilson. If you have the chance to move off Kirk, you take it. But it's also not the end of the world if he's your quarterback next season, because he is a capable quarterback. Let me know what you guys think down below. Skol Vikes. See you guys next time.